Hey everyone, Karnak here, Star Wars Armada Explained. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be looking at the Rebel ship title, Defiance. It is for the MC-80 Home 1 variant. So Defiance, if you see there in front of its name, you see a dot or bullet point, signifies this title is unique. You can only have one of them in your fleet. How do you know it equips to an MC-80 Home 1? Well, on the picture you'll see one, but if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the upgrade card, you will see the icon for an MC-80. This card is faction specific for the Rebel Alliance only, which you can see there next to its point cost, which is 5. So pretty cheap title for what it does. It reads, while attacking a ship that has already activated this round, add 1 die of any color to your attack pool. This card does not have any clarifications or errata. It's a very straightforward card. So how does it work? Well, as long as when you activate your ship, that is Defiance, when you activate, if you conduct any attacks, if any of those attacks are done on any other ships, not squadrons, it doesn't work on squadrons, again, it only specifies while attacking a ship, you can add a die of any color. It can be red, blue, or black. It could be at any range. So, for example, this Archidans was at long range, and we'll say that this is an assault variant, which throws the 4 red die. So even though we're at long range, if that Archidans has already activated, and we'll see here we're drawing line of sight, we're in range, cardboard to cardboard. I can see it. We're in a solid red range, which is you can use a red die. The first thing you do is you do roll your initial attack pool. I know the wording can get a little confusing, and some people think that you can automatically add the die to the initial attack pool roll. That is incorrect. You always start by rolling your initial attack pool because this does not increase the battery armament of your ship. Okay? So in this situation, there's no obstruction, there's nothing in the way. You roll your initial attack or your initial die pool from your initial battery armament, which again is the 4 red die. Now, this card is a resolve upgrade effect. It's a resolving card that's while attacking, means that after you rolled your initial attack pool is then when you add the die of any color to your attack pool. Almost everybody always adds a black die. Why is that? Black dies are most consistent with their damage and their ability to put out damage. Now, again, depending on the target that you're shooting at, maybe you want to add in a blue die, maybe for a higher chance of accuracy, or if you have some other types of cards that allows you to re-roll, certain die pools, maybe you want to add a red. But in this situation, we're going to add a black die. So we add the black die. So we're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to this Archidans. Now this Archidans being at long range, he has access to evade and some redirects. So we can definitely use his evade to cancel the double. But because we added in that black die, he's still going to suffer 3 damage, which even if he redirects, that's wiping out shields in at least one hull zone. So we're definitely pouring damage into the Archidans that otherwise it can't potentially suffer. Now, one thing I do want to point out with Defiance, once you do add, you need to initially make that roll with the black die first. If you do have a concentrate fire command, you can concentrate fire command in a black die on top of that. Because, remember, you can only add in a concentrate fire to die that are already in your pool. So if you do Defiance in a black into your pool, you can add another black. Or in the situation, if you did concentrate fire, let's get rid of these black die. Maybe you did Defiance and you added in a blue die, and then you concentrate fire in another blue die. Why would you do that? Well, you see there, even though it's at red range, for example, maybe some more of these had blinked out. If you have leading shots, you could always cancel one of those blue die to re-roll those red die with leading shots. So that way you're able to gain more benefit potentially from what you're rolling. Now this is during while any attacking, so if you do have, for example, if the ship was double arced, it's for any ship-to-ship attack that you conduct. So Defiance for 5 points is extremely useful because MC-80s are just so tanky that usually they can survive a big shot or two before needing to activate them. So usually you can kind of wait out your enemy, and then you can hit them with the extra damage that this card brings. I mean, an extra die for 5 points is just really, really good, especially since you can add any color to your attack pool at any range. So I did my game I just played. I actually did out the side arc. I did one shot in Arcadins without Akbar. I rolled just a really good attack roll, and I one shot that Arcadins because it just couldn't. It had rammed something, so it was down the 4 hole, and yeah, I just blew it away. Anyway, that is Defiance. There's no other crazy interactions or nothing else going on that's weird or crazy or that needs to be detailed in depth other than what I've already explained. Again, the die that you add into your attack pool from this effect can be re-rolled. You can use Intensify Firepower on it, etc. So that's Defiance. Really good card, cheap title, excellent. But of course, if you feel like I missed anything or if I got anything wrong, please be sure to point it out. Let me know. Always more than happy to make sure I'm adding any corrections in. Otherwise, like always, I'll catch you guys next time.